Well, the first thing is thank you so much for making the time to like join us for this artist talk, and I'm really
You're
excited to
welcome.
hear more about your project. So this is Xenia, everyone, to everyone who's listening. Um, so my first question was going to be, what influenced you in choosing these three pieces, these three composers, and the story you want to tell through their music?
I will say a few things. Musically, it's because of the new music aspect. Second of all, I want to highlight composers that are both, I guess, not like canon composers, not composers who are highlighted normally in kind of my field. Um, thirdly, like Asian composers, Australian Asian composers. I live in America. There's a lot of American Asian composers discussed right now, and I'm playing a lot of their music. But I'm from Australia, and I'll discuss this later in the program. But like Christine's an example of someone who's up and coming, great composer, but she's she's new and she's underrepresented because of her age, because of who she is, and because of just like she doesn't, sort of, I'm going to be blunt here, sort of fit in the box of like ticking the box of diversity yet. And I see a lot of this happening with like current programming with big companies. So yeah, that's sorry, I went off a rant, but that's kind of the gist of why I picked these three composers and solo music just to kind of keep it a bit simpler when it comes to um a lot of like Zoom online recordings. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit complicating involving other folks when it comes to this. And I'm a violinist. I love playing solo. So there's that. I don't think I missed anything. Did I miss anything? Yeah.
No, that was a wonderful answer. And it's like interesting to know that part of your practice is about highlighting the works of, Asian composers internationally. And in this instance, I'm also Aussie and Asian. So I'm like, yay. It's really nice to see their music being
Yeah.
highlighted. Like particularly like you mentioned like box
Mhm.
ticking in a way that kind of removes the tokenistic aspect of like having the one different composer on the program.
Yeah. And like, I love these composers are normally highlighted. Um, Joel Long, Bright Sheng, but it's like they use a lot and they're especially highlighted Chinese New Year. They're scattered around all over the place, but it's like we have more composers than four people. We have more composers than just 1 month of the year where like, Asian people exist more than 1 month of the year. So anyway, that's my frustration sometimes when it comes to my industry, our industry, I guess.
Yeah. We're not just there for Lunar New Year.
No, we're not.
Well, I suppose the other aspect of this particular recital is not just the musical things, but also that you've brought in a lot of your other talents and skills, like video editing, and you've done all the recording yourself, and you've even written an entire script with narration. So how was that experience bringing that together?
Um, it's kind of driving me crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It's not my forte, but it's also sort of fun. Like I've done some very rudimentary, I would say amateur sound engineering for like recital my duo partner and I did for an online concert last year. Last year, wow. Well, this year it's been a while. But like video stuff, like really editing and putting in things that are non-musical and putting it in the middle, that's not what I've done before. But I I that because I do recall you guys saying, "Hey, like don't just play three pieces, boom, like a normal recital." And I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do. If it's a disaster and hot mess, I own it. At least I had fun.
Exactly. And also, I've like seen your script. It's not going to be a hot mess for everyone who's listening.
Okay, so I do. I'm like still. I have to change a few things when he speak and when he write. Words really sound repeated if you don't do it well, script well.
But the beauty of like having digital editing as part of like music or music production is that you can
Yep.
edit. So that's like the fun creative
Yes.
parameter of like working around different visual and audio components.
Yep.
So I'm super excited to see your work. Um, so
Me
kind of joining the
too.
ah, So kind of joining those two things together, like your highlighting of these like through contemporary pieces and new music and all the filmic components as well as yours like dipping into sound engineering. What are you hoping the audience is going to take away from your project?
Um, Let me see. Me having fun, me trying to do the best to give all three pieces justice. Um, I'm hoping the audience will see I'm not crashing and burning with my, as I said, in like technological skills. With the I guess the tenet of my recital, I hope the message gets across. If not, I'm happy to work on it to get it clearer. And also, no, you know what? I was gonna say I hope I don't kind of piss people off. I hope that's no swear word. But I also do hope I am going to do it because we need to change a lot of things in our like I love my art. I love the violin. I also love the music I've learned. Like, I've got nothing against classical, romantic, free, contemporary music, but there's been a lot of I have a lot of issues with how we've educated folks in this sort of stuff and how we've used music that hasn't done anything to us and used it to exploit and isolate and just segregate and there's all sorts of things with people that of minority basis mainly. So yeah, I hope it ruffles some feathers, I guess.
I hope so too. Well, the beautiful thing that I love about your project is that you've brought all these different voices and different places that perhaps people don't see as typical within the classical music space, but you've done it in a way that
Yeah,
isn't, although it might ruffle some feathers, you're not like seeking like to do that only. Like these people have incredible music and you're presenting it
yeah,
in such a beautiful storytelling way where like Christine's piece, for example, explores like tea making and things like that and traditions associated beyond music making that are related to our various cultural heritages.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh, and on a note of Christine's piece, like we're having a chat about it, and the title and what's it about. And it's like it's called Irish breakfast, but the origins of the actual tea leaves is from Asia, because of course it is.
yeah, actually, that's true. Just like when you look at a lot of like English history, for example, I'm just going to go after them because of the easiest
Yep,
example I can think of.
yep, yep, yep,
Their
yep.
history of tea is coming from India, and that has a longer beyond the product and the ritual of making tea. We kind of polish it now. It sounds very romantic, the idea of Asian people drinking tea on top of a mountain and meditating, but it's got all these like roots in colonialism and much darker
Yeah,
histories. So it's amazing that
yeah,
you're playing that
and
piece by Christine.
it's a fun piece.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see it brought to life both sonically and also filmically. Yeah. So pretty much that's all my questions. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh
Do you
wow,
have,
that's very
yeah,
prompt and
very,
very
very
short.
quick. Well, the thing is, like,
Yeah,
thank you to everyone listening. And I know there are going to be a lot of people who are attending this particular recital. So if you want to support Xenia further, please do donate in the little button that's at the bottom of this webpage and check out her website. She's got an album. Look out for all her work and her teaching, and she's amazing. Thank you.
thank you, and do excuse me going down the which freeway? The 57 in California.